Good afternoon. I hope this finds you safe and well. It's been a testing time recently for everybody, and I thought that rather than putting another social media post, I'd actually sort of try and do a video blog to just explain some of the things that we're putting in place or have put in place to try and make sure everybody can get back in the water, and give you a quick update if you haven't seen some of the posts across social media of the things that we've been up to over the last 4 or 5 months. Because while we haven't been able to paddle much, those of us that are involved in running the club have still been quite busy. Going back to February and March and the floods that happened down at Batty Ford, we've managed to get through in terms of cleaning the boats up and cleaning the site up. We've made repairs to the boats, so particularly the dynamos for the pool. They won't leak as much, which will mean that all those helpers won't have to spend as much time emptying the boats out of the water unless they're sunk on a deliberate basis. We've been moving kit around between some of the sites. We've been locating where kit has been that we maybe people have had and have been chasing up that returning to the club, which has been fantastic. So you might see a few boats that you haven't seen for a while, or boats that you didn't realise we had. We've also boats that we don't use or haven't used for some time. We've sold a number of those, which has raised some revenue, which we've been able to reinvest in 4 open boats and a small play boat, which I'm sure the play boat will be fantastic down at the pool. Looking forward to that being in use when we're able to go back in. We've managed to help, which we haven't posted up on social media, we've managed to help people buying and selling their own boats. And particularly two youngsters have managed to get their first ever boats, which I think it's been, certainly for me, it's been quite pleasing to see them out with their parents paddling over the last few months, which has been fantastic. So yeah, that's some of the things we've done around the kit. We've also, in terms of the site development, there's been lots going on, and I'll give you a bit more of an update that in future videos. But one of the things that we've looked at is putting some slalom poles up down at Batty Ford, which I think is going to be a great development for all the paddlers, particularly the youngsters. And hopefully, if we get things in place, we'll be able to run some competitions down there, which will be great to see other clubs enjoying the benefits of the site down at Batty Ford that we all do. Some of the less interesting stuff that we've spent quite a lot of time doing is updating the policies and procedures. And I know Greg spent an awful lot of time putting information up on the website. So we'll be continuing to develop the website, taking feedback from people and adjusting what's on there to make sure it's easy for everybody to find what they need. So I suppose those are some of the things that we've been doing as a committee while we haven't been able to get on the water. But getting back onto the water isn't a really simple thing, and we acknowledge that at the moment. Some people have been really frustrated and really keen to get out with friends on a regular basis all the way through this time, and been unable to do so because of either we've not been in a position to do it, or the regulations and guidance hasn't allowed that. Some people might not want to get out in groups and might want to be out on their own, providing obviously it's safe to do so, and we understand and respect that completely. And some people might not even be comfortable at the moment actually coming out and paddling either as a group or at all, and we completely respect that. And if any of those people within the club want to just get in touch, stay in touch through social media, or even have a chat, then get through to one of us, send us a message and we'll give you a call. We want the environment that we run in the club always, but particularly at this time, to be one that's welcoming and people feel comfortable with, one that people are safe within. So I suppose to avoid any confusion, one of the things we've decided to do is we've taken the decision that everything we will run and we will ask everybody in the club to operate, coaches and paddlers, 2 metres socially distanced, until the guidance is clear that is not, it's certainly the recommended at the moment. And we think that it's probably easier, particularly for young people, to have those very clear boundaries. And that's probably something that we'll put in place within our procedures in the future. We are a club that wants to allow people to make their own decisions, and essentially it's really important that people make their own decisions and take responsibility for not only their own learning but their own safety, because if they are going to progress and paddle independently in the future, then they need to be able to understand why things are done and to make those decisions themselves. But I think equally, I think when people are new within the club, I think it's really important, we think it's really important that people know what is expected of them and what they can expect of us. So those are the things we will be doing in future, and I suppose an example of that is the decision we've made about 2 metres socially distancing. So getting on to what you need to do or what will be in place for you to be able to paddle. If you aren't already, or if you haven't already, then please renew your membership. It's the time of year for renewing club membership. You can do that through the British Canoeing, or we're going to have a Google form that you can fill in, and then we'll upload the information to the British Canoeing site if need be, and pay your membership fees by bank transfer. It always makes John McGlynn, the treasurer, a lot happy person when he sees the memberships coming in. So if you can do that, then that's great. Obviously, it'll run through to September 21. If you're a new member particularly, then back end of July, beginning through into August, we usually let memberships run through to 20, through to the following year. If you're coming down just as a new paddler and unsure whether to commit to that 12 months membership, then we have a session membership form you can fill in and then pay no membership fees. If you haven't already, we will be doing a booking system through an app called Spond, so you can download that. I've shared that on the recreation site, the WhatsApp group that many people will be on. So if you can do that, that'll be booking for sessions that are led by people within the club, and there may be options for peer groups to go out, and we can use that. Certainly polo players have been using that to book there and keep a track of who's paddling on a Tuesday night over the last 12 months. So it'd be good to get that. That's the way we're going to be using for booking sessions. We are going to be putting together an online briefing, and I think that's something that we'll do for all sessions in the future. So actually, as we speak now, people are out on the water checking what needs to go in that briefing. But online briefings at the moment, the importance currently in this time is to reduce the amount we have to spend face to face. So, for safety reasons in terms of COVID. But actually, thinking about it, we thought about it as a club. Having an online briefing will help answer some people's questions before they're coming down to the sessions. Like I said, so that they're clear about what's expected of them and what they can expect of us. But also, it'll maximise the amount of time that people can be on the water, and helpers and coaches can spend coaching. So there'll obviously be a checking out and an opportunity to ask questions when you go down to sessions for things that you're not sure of, and we might even put other things online in place for that. But we think it'd be a good thing to do to put more of the online briefings together so that we can maximise the benefits of being out on the water together. If you're not already aware of, as I sort of said with the membership, try and find out the club bank details, because we won't be taking cash in future. The cashing up takes time for the volunteers to do and to track and to audit. Bank transfers are a lot better for John the treasurer to be able to know where the money's coming in and know who's paid and to be able to audit. And at the moment, it's a lot safer for us not to be handling cash. We will be putting in place, and we are setting up an alternative cashless payment system through PayPal, but that there's a cost to the club in doing that, so that's not our preferred way of paying for things. But so in the meantime, if you can get hold of the bank details for the club, that's fantastic. I think there's one of the things that would be useful, but it's not essential, is we have put together a form for us to help support people's developments, understand what people are wanting to do and where they're at for developing. And actually that also helps us sign people off as independent paddlers if they want to borrow equipment. So we've got a little bit of way of a form for capturing some of that information to help coaches advise and support people's development within the club. So it's not an essential before you come out, but it's certainly something that we'll be putting in as part of the club's development in future. I suppose just a couple of final things. You may have already seen through social media that some members of the club have been getting out and paddling on their own at Battyford. That's fantastic. You know, for example, Jack and Stuart have been out a few times. They just let us know. We've got a WhatsApp group for all those that have key holders or want to be key holders. They just let us know when they're going down. So if anybody else wants to use it, they know that other people are down there from the club. So that's really beneficial. So if people want to get out and they have all their own equipment, then crack on. If you want some advice, as I said earlier, then great, ask. If not, get yourselves out and enjoy the water. If people are independent, capable of paddling on their own without needing support from the club leaders to do that, and they want to borrow some equipment, you can do that once we've agreed, you know, that it's going to be used safely and that you're going to be safe. Then you can use it, you can borrow it. We've got a booking system for that so that you can borrow it and use it off-site. If you want to borrow it and use it on site as part of, for example, race training, which quite a few people have done, then again, that's absolutely fine. You know, you can do that just in that session. You don't need to fill a booking form for that out, but there is, as I'm not sure whether I can't remember whether I mentioned already, but there's the track and trace system. Obviously, is something we've put in, and it's on the signage that's all around the site. You just need to let us know that people are going down, and then when you're there and arrive on site, filling in one of the track and trace forms for the session paddlers. So I think that's all I need to and wanted to update you on today. Just in terms of the future, I'll probably put another video blog up to update around where we are with the pools, the site development at Battyford. Hopefully we've got some movement on what we can do around polo, and we've been getting some feedback from people about how we actually structure some of our sessions and things, so we might put something in place asking you for some more feedback about what sort of things you want us to run in the club over the next 12 months and how you want us to run it. So all being well, I'll see you on the water soon.